Taking your pod. No, you're not. You will not be taking our pod today, sir.
You mocking me?
Are you mocking me?
Stop it, you just didn't do it again.
He's trying to copy you.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Wargaming Luke, and we finally have, after months of talking about them, all of these updates dropping for you in the PDFs, as I kind of expected it would be. Across Atomic Transmissions, they've given us the final updates, which we're going to take you through here, guys. There's a few character cards that have not been talked about on transmissions that have been dropped in these updates as part of the character card update PDF. So there's three different ones. There's the character card PDF, which you can download. There's the just go straight to Atomic Transmissions on their website, guys. You'll find it all there, and I'm going to read you through what it says here as well. Then you've got a second PDF containing all the changes to tactic cards, which is the big discussion we're going to talk about here. They're the main changes, and the third one is just the Infinity Gem changes to the cards there. So you will have seen most of this already, guys. We haven't seen a lot of these changes, though, to the banned and restricted list, which is what they're telling us here. And then they just give you links to all the new card updates that we've already pretty much seen. The only ones that aren't on there are small changes to Black Panther, Okoye, and huge changes, though, to Winter Soldier, which I think a lot of people expected. However, no other changes from what I've seen to any other cards that we haven't seen already. So if you were expecting any other changes to come, guys, you might be a little disappointed there, because that's the only other changes to come in that drop. I thought we might be expecting a few more nerfs here and there, to be honest, for some factions. But hey-ho, that's for you guys to discuss with me in the comments and with everybody in the forums, etc. I'm sure there'll be plenty going on the Discord and whatnot. However, let's get straight into the article that they dropped alongside all the updates, guys. As I've put on the thumbnail and in the title, there are some big winners here and some big losers, and a lot of these tactic card updates kind of coincide with that. But also, I'm just going to look at all of the changes as a whole now that we know as it's dropped, who it's affected most and who like negatively and positively. Special thanks to our sponsors over at Board in Brum. Check them out for all your Marvel Crisis Protocol needs at fantastic discount prices, and be sure to check out their upcoming events, most of which I'll probably see you there too. Links can be found in the description below. We'll go into this now, guys. So, Marvel Crisis Protocol November 2021 banned and restricted list update. Here we go. So I'm going to skip all the fluff at the beginning here, to be fair. All they're saying is we've made some changes to tactic cards that were needed. Bit arrivals, guys, no changes to it. It's restricted, basically. Our hope is that by adding it to the restricted list, its power will be offset by the decision to use one, whether you want to use it or not. So it does make it interesting. Obviously, remember, guys, if you're a beginner, etc., you can only take up to 2 restricted cards in your roster list. However, I guess you could say that now we are playing 10 tactic cards in your roster, and then you pick, obviously, still the standard 5 from that to use in game, but you can only have 2 out of those 10 as restricted cards. So, you know, is Bitter Rivals going to be taken less and less? I feel like for my Midnight Suns I might still be taking it, just because they need a bit of help defensively, but it's hard to say, to be honest. I think that it's gonna kind of conflict with some of the cards, I reckon, as to whether you want to take it or not. I think it'll depend what affiliation you want to take, as to whether you want it in your roster or not. Then we move on to all you've got in Panic Grip City as evacuation efforts continue are both now banned rather than restricted. I think we expected these. I think a lot of people expected Bitter Rivals to maybe be banned as well. I wasn't entirely certain on that, to be honest, but I did expect all you've got to be banned. That card is a bit insane, to be honest. So all you've got in Panic Grip City are banned. Ricochet Blast, they're saying here, let's just have a little look. Formerly required both Captain America and Iron Man to pay 2 power to play this card. We have lowered this cost to 1 power each, which makes it more similar to other tactic cards like it. Makes complete sense. I think that's a nice buff for Avengers as well. I think Avengers, as if they needed the buffs, have come out nicely from this all these changes. Thunderwave, very similar kind of thing with Thor and Captain America. That's lowered from 2 apiece to 1 apiece. Doomed Prophecy. This is going to be a really interesting one in the forums and things, and you guys let me know what you think in the comments about this. It's gone from being a universal card for any faction to use to only Asgard. It's now an Asgard affiliated card, but cherry on the top, guys, it's still affiliated to Asgardians. So it's still on the restricted list is what I was going to say. Which really hurts Asgardians, right? Like, they were able to take this card before just as an unaffiliated card like any other faction could. And yeah, it's cool that now only they can use it. You would say that's kind of a little bit of a buff for them, but in actuality, I don't think it is. I think the fact that it's still, if they'd have made it pure Asgardian card, but then they'd taken it off the restricted list, that's a great buff for Asgardians, especially given everything that they've had nerfed on their character roster, and no updates to Thor, just to add onto that, guys. So yeah, Thor really is crying. I don't think they've come well out of these changes at all. They've really dropped down the tier at rankings, unfortunately, and even if you're a casual player, you'll probably feel it. Like, you won't have, like, you'll be able to take this card, but like it takes up a slot in your restricted list, and all of those unaffiliated cards that you'd like to add to your roster like any other faction you can't, because yeah, I don't know. I feel like with it being affiliated to Asgardians now, they could have just made it taken off the restricted list, and that would have been enough of a restriction as it is. But yeah, I think that's kind of sad times, really. It's kind of like, here you go, Asgardians, you got a new affiliated card, but it's restricted, so you're going to have to dump a couple of other great cards in your list as well. So, I don't know. It's a strange one, as is the following one for me. Pentagram of Ferala has gone the opposite direction of Ricochet and Thunderwave. Instead of costing Doctor Strange or Wong 2 power, it will now cost 3. For a powerful card, this small tweak keeps it off the restricted list, but makes the cost more fair. So, for those of you who don't know, for Defenders, this is one of Defenders' main thing that kind of keeps them up there with those top, well, I'll say top affiliate. It just keeps them in the fight, to be honest. It's their thing. You take Doctor Strange, you put the Soul Stone on him, you get 2 power in the first power phase because he's got the stone on him, and he gets that extra power. Turn 1, put down the portal, which they really do, the pentagrams, which they really do need Defenders as well. I feel like that was their only thing, right? And now they've had that taken away. Turn 1, you will not be able to do that now. That really sucks. That really, really sucks. It's not even like you can advance R&D or something and get it onto you, which we'll discuss that in a minute as well, because it's the power phase. So I think that sucks for Defenders. I feel for Defenders, because that was their one thing keeping them in there, right, to like compete, and it kind of turn 1. I know from what they've said that they're trying to get rid of turn 1 plays, but I feel like that wasn't one that was ridiculously OP to the point where like you couldn't deal with it, kind of thing. Like, some things should be nerfed, but I think it's a bit much. I think a lot of people are going to be ditching Defenders after that. I mean, let me know what you guys think at the end of the day. A lot of these things I'm going to be saying now are just my opinion and my thoughts. I'm reading this as soon as you guys are, but I'm putting a video up about it, so my thoughts are fresh. So I'm sure you guys will have your own thoughts about it, but get chatting to me in them comments, guys. However, we move on. Rainbow Bridge got a bit of a wording lift. We generally try to avoid effects that let a character run far away with an objective token. As such, anyone looking for a ride on the Bifrost must not be holding an objective token. Again, another nerf there to Asgardians. The fact that you can't now run away with the token, whereas before you could, it was a big thing for them. Oh man, Asgardians getting hit hard. I do have something else to say on this soon though. Advanced R&D now requires that character play it in their own activation. This little utility tweak should keep this popular unaffiliated card in line. I get that they've tried to nerf this card. I don't think this will affect how some people play it. I've had a chat to some people already. Some people seem to think that majority of the time, so advanced R&D, for those of you that don't remember, it's where you spend even out of activation. You can spend any number of power on any character at any time. however much power you spend on that character, they can shuffle that power out to different other characters, one each. So if you spent 3 power on Iron Fist, you can in my Midnight Suns list, he can then shuffle that 3 power onto Doctor Strange, Blade, and Moon Knight or something, right? And then they can do other things then, and then I could choose to activate Moon Knight. Now, however, if I wanted to do that, it would have to be Iron Fist using it on his activation, so I'd have to shuffle out the power on him, and then he'd have to activate, and he wouldn't really have any power left to do anything necessarily. So I don't like this change. Some factions might use it for different reasons, but personally, me, for my Midnight Suns, if I'm in a situation where, so if I want to do Siege of Darkness, usually it's handy whenever I really want it to be happening. Some of my characters might not have enough power on them, and so I just want to be able to drop Advanced R&D, take the most power off the character with the most power, shuffle it out so that I've got 2 power on each character. Sometimes if I'm playing hammers, it needs to be more than that. So, and that's how I tend to play Advanced R&D, and that's how it's really handy for Midnight Suns, which means a lot of the time I can't afford for it to be that character's activation that's going to spend all the power. Maybe I might be wrong about that. I might start playing with the new version of the card, and then I can actually work around it, but from my previous experience using the card with the Midnight Suns anyway, I mean, it's different, as I say, for all you guys. I don't like the change, but I think that's a bit of a nerf there, but for some affiliations, but hey ho, maybe we'll be able to adapt to it, I don't know. Next one is Gamma Launch can now be played only during Hulk's activation. This prevents some turn 1 combination plays that were robbing opponents of the ability to play before they even began. The rest of the card is unchanged, so Hulk fans should have no problem enjoying tossing their buddies around. So Gamma Launch will still be handy, but there were some turn 1 plays where people, I've already seen people building lists ready for the new Hulk to drop, with like Hulk, Hulkbuster, She-Hulk, all these big characters together, where you're just doing turn 1 plays, throwing each other up the battlefield to nick objectives and return back to your own deployment pretty much in the same first turn, like before your opponent can even do anything. So I'm not surprised that they've done this, to be honest. It is obviously a nerf to Hulk, however, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I don't play enough of Hulk yet to really say much more on that. But they end the article there by just saying, check out all the documents and whatnot here. As I say, guys, I'm going to do a separate video to look at the changes to the new the character cards that have had changes to them. So the Winter Soldier, Black Panther, etc. Okoye, because I want to spend a little more time on them. However, I'll just give quick thoughts now, really, to end this video off as to these big changes really to a lot of cards and who got affected most, and along with all the character card changes that we've seen over the last 2 months for this drop, who do I think suffered the most? Who do I think's gained the most? Well, I would say Avengers have come off nicely. Sam Spam's still going to be up there massively. I think as Guardians have probably come off the worst. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy, massive buffs all over the place, which I think we expected. I think they've probably come off the best compared to what they were before, obviously. I think that's obvious. As Guardians, I think have come off the worst. Valkyrie and Enchantress getting some big nerfs, and then I really thought with them doing that they might give Thor some changes. I don't think Thor still is amazing. I think he needs help, and Loki maybe as well. But and the fact that then you've had 2 of their cards there kind of nerfed has really hurt as Guardians for sure. Defenders again, really big nerf to them with the pentagrams being up to 3 power, and the fact they can't do those portals turn 1 is going to hurt them massively. I think that was one of the only really good things properly going for them. There's not, by the way, I'm saying, probably making it sound, guys, like they're now unplayable. They're not unplayable at all. I'm just saying, like, if you're comparing what they got changed compared to factions that I think are already good, Web Warriors, not a single change. Some of their pushes and things and their abilities are still pretty damn good, I think, considering that other factions had their pushes and things changed, like Spider-Gwen, etc. I do not get why that they haven't been changed there personally, but and we've seen a rise in Web Warrior players obviously recently at tournaments and things. And I think that's only going to get more now that you've seen some of these other factions nerfed a bit. The only thing I'm going to point out here, guys, by the way, before we kind of end this one, and I'll leave it for you guys to discuss because I'm sure everybody will have their strong thoughts on it as well. I think most of these changes, and I just want to say this, I think most of these changes are probably pretty good. They probably make sense, right? But there's a couple in there I just don't think were needed. The pentagrams and the couple of Asgardian cards in there, I think they could have just left. However, as I was about to say, one thing we don't know yet, and you always have to think about, is that Atomic Mass Games, they know their release schedule for new characters as well. How do we not know that Asgardians are going to get a couple of new characters soon within the next year of releases? How do we not know that Defenders are going to get a lot more powerful characters added into them that would take advantage of the pentagrams and it would make them too strong? So maybe they've made some of these changes in advance of these new characters coming into their affiliation for you to choose from to add to your roster, kind of thing. I don't know, maybe. However, from what information I've got here right now, it feels a bit harsh on some of the factions, but there we go. And like I say, no nerfs to a lot of the top factions right now in a competitive sense means that they're only getting better now. More people are going to take them because some of the factions that needed a bit of help have kind of been nerfed a little bit, right? I know that there's a lot of factions that make use of Doom Prophecy. They're not going to be able to use that now. That kind of sucks for them, right? So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I think overall, I'm so happy that it's here. I'm really excited to go through those few other characters that have changed tomorrow with you guys. I'll put that up, hopefully. I'll film that tomorrow when I've got a chance, and I'll put that up either tomorrow or the day after. Let this video breathe a bit and let you guys have a chat about the changes. Alright guys, that's it for today. Like I say, keep an eye out for that second video that'll come this week for those other last card updates that we've had. And then I can hopefully get back to doing some kind of normal different videos for you guys each week and some different content rather than about all the updates because we finally had it dropped. However, as always, thanks to watching to the end of these videos, folks. It really does help. And when you do, obviously, leave those all-important comments down below. I really enjoyed chatting to you guys on the last video that we put up about the X-Men. If you haven't checked that out, by the way, I'll link it at the end of this video. However, throw likes on the video, guys. Leave those comments down below. And as always, we'll go out with a quote. And it had to be Thor, because I feel kind of sorry for him. But he does have some wise words for you Asgard players here. But I leave you with this thought. It is not the one with the greatest power which is important. It is the one who uses his power wisely in the cause of justice. There we go. And that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching as always, and happy wargaming. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure to check out all of our socials. If you want some quick reads on everything Marvel Crisis Protocol, you can go check out our friends over at Web Warrior Protocols. But for all your wargaming and of course Marvel Crisis Protocol needs, go over to Board in Brum for fantastic discount prices. All of these things, links can be found in the description below this video. Happy wargaming.